Colorado could become home to 6 new migrant detention facilities. In a poorer part of the state, leaders are thrilled.
Oh, I think it's a godsend.
Douglas County commissioners ignore calls to apologize for the claim that an opposition group led by an Asian American woman is actually the Chinese Communist Party.
Let's not parse words. It's just also plain racist.
The Salvation Army was warned about the danger at its family homeless shelter months before a girl fell from a 7th-story ledge. And together, we'll fight hunger in the foothills, where the need is often hidden. That's tonight on Next. The Trump administration now has tens of billions of dollars to spend on mass deportations. Newly released documents today show that private prison companies are ready to cash in with as many as 6 new detention facilities in Colorado. The administration says its goal is to double capacity at migrant detention operations nationwide. Documents obtained through an open records request by the ACLU show that ICE has inquired about opening new migrant holding centers in Colorado Springs, Hudson, La Junta, and Walsenburg. They're looking at former ICE facilities, now closed prisons, even what's being described as a quote-unquote soft-sided detention facility in Walsenburg, perhaps a tent city. The GEO Group, the private prison operator that already operates Colorado's only ICE detention facility in Aurora, is suggesting adding capacity there and reopening a 700-bed facility in Colorado Springs. And there are proposals from other private prison operators, private equity companies, and real estate groups. Our Mark Salinger went down south to Walsenburg today to see the prison that could soon house ICE detainees. Town leaders told Mark they're less concerned with the politics and the ethics of mass deportations. They just want economic opportunity in one of the poorer areas of Colorado.
The Huerfano County Correctional Facility hasn't seen any inmates for more than a decade, but soon it could come back to life as the Trump administration considers this spot in southern Colorado to house ICE detainees.
To me, I don't matter whether it's a prison or holds whoever it holds. We just need the establishment running again.
The razor wire is sharp, the fences are tall, and Walsenburg is ready.
Yes, very much so.
Mayor Gary Vazani is blunt about why he wants the Trump administration to use an empty prison in his city to hold people detained by ICE.
Oh, I think it's a godsend. If they use it for ICE or use it for a prison or use it for whatever they use it for, we really don't care as a city as long as we got. It's a pretty big paying customer for us.
The private prison owned by Core Civic closed in 2010. The company has told ICE it can hold more than 750 people here. In one of the poorest counties in Colorado, the mayor looks beyond even his own views on Trump's immigration policies and sees opportunity.
I'm not sure I'm for it myself, but they're going to do it somewhere. We're not big enough, nor anybody here big enough to stop it, so we may as well take advantage of it happening.
The contract would likely bring hundreds of jobs to an area of Colorado with an unemployment rate several percentage points higher than the rest of the state.
I have to look at it economically because of the condition Walsenburg is in. It's sitting here. It is what it is. I'd rather have it full than empty, and I really doesn't matter with what to me. I mean, they're going to do it somewhere. We may as well take advantage of it.
But not everyone feels that way.
Some people are for it. Some people are very against it.
Mitchell Wardell is a Huerfano County commissioner.
Very politically charged, yes.
He says they've been told little about if the prison will reopen, and if so, when. Then again, he says they can't really do much about it.
It's a private prison, whether we wanted it or not, they're going to do what they're going to do. We don't have any power over it whatsoever.
They've taken care of it. I mean, it's ready to open, and I'd like to see it open.
People detained by ICE could soon be held inside these walls. In Walsenburg, the money that brings would be welcome.
This would be a major employer because we really don't have one.
The private prison company that owns this facility held an earnings call last week where they detailed their options going forward to house ICE detainees. They said Huerfano County, as well as 2 other facilities across the country, are currently under consideration. But it's pretty clear that no one here in Walsenburg knows whether they will choose this destination, and if so, when everyone will start moving in. In Huerfano County, for Next, I'm Mark Salinger.
That correctional center in Walsenburg has been closed since 2010. Core Civic told ICE that if they get the contract, they could start operations there within 120 days. Hottest day of the year in Denver. Tied the daily record, hit 100 at the airport this afternoon. Got hot, it's going to stay hot. There's a heat advisory for the metro area until 9 p.m. Denver's using libraries and rec centers as cooling centers during regular business hours. Let's talk with meteorologist Kathy Sabin. The overnight heat, Kathy, was really something. It just never cooled down last night.
And tonight will be even warmer, Kyle. Some areas will not see temperatures cooler than 70 degrees. We remain under a weather impact alert and heat advisory through 9 o'clock. This is the apex of the heat wave. Today is the warmest day of the week at 100 degrees. We tied that record, as you mentioned, back in 2022, but many other areas still in the triple digits this hour, and the high temperatures have come into record territory for many areas across the state. Heat advisory, Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, now extended into Colorado Springs and Pueblo. And so between now and 9 o'clock, just limit your time outdoors. Remember, hydration is key here. And your weather headlines include more on the heat advisory, and then we turn to the elevated fire danger for tomorrow. I also have information on a cooler weather pattern coming up and chance for rain. I'll have that with your extended forecast in just a bit.
Months before a girl fell from a 7th-story ledge at a Salvation Army-run homeless shelter in Denver, they were warned of a, quote, phenomenal risk of catastrophe. An attorney told the Salvation Army that the sliding glass doors that led out on former balconies that had the railings removed were really dangerous. Our Marshall Zellinger has details on the warnings before that 11-year-old girl's fall.
My client has a small child and lives on the 3rd floor, so this is an incredibly dangerous safety issue.
Reading from a February 2024 letter to the Salvation Army, family law attorney Darren O'Connor shared with us the notice sent 17 months ago about concerns with sliding glass doors that lead to unprotected ledges at this southeast Denver shelter, in which he called the issue a phenomenal risk of catastrophe.
My client recently informed you that the door to the balcony will not fully open, will not lock, and that the same door is allowing water to infiltrate his residence. They had mold because the sliding glass door was actually leaking.
Sliding glass doors that lead to the ledges have new safety features. Today, we saw this 5th floor door open about 4 inches, the new allowable limit now that the city has installed rivets to let residents open the doors a crack. Previous door locks could be unscrewed or tampered with, allowing the doors to be opened against shelter policy. 17 months ago, the concerns sent by O'Connor were addressed by the Denver Department of Public Health and Environment because the first concern dealt with a refrigerator not working. The second item was the sliding glass door. The investigator for the Denver Department of Public Health and Environment issued a notice of violation and ordered the door to be sealed and secured within a month, which it was.
One of the highlights was that the sliding glass door would not close, and they had a child that was still crawling age, and so they were very concerned about the child possibly being able to fall out that door.
On Monday, an 11-year-old girl fell from the 7th floor onto a 2nd floor rooftop. The last update we got was that she would be released from the hospital soon. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston said this week that the previous locks could be manipulated and were replaced with rivets that can allow the doors to now open only 4 inches.
The Salvation Army has said in a statement it has consistently raised concerns about the safety of the windows during regular meetings with city staff and leadership. Again, we had asked for any documentation. We're still waiting. I asked the city's Housing Stability Department if what the Salvation Army has said is fully accurate. The city told me it meets with the Salvation Army regularly to discuss needs, including maintenance requests. And when a window is broken by guests, it was addressed through standard maintenance requests.
So this is why it would be really good to see if the Salvation Army has documentation to back up what they're saying, that not only that they knew that this was dangerous, but they told the city.
Sure, and General Services in the city handles maintenance requests, and the Housing Stability handles probably broader issues like dangers and safety issues. So it'd be nice to see the back and forths.
Your email's still just marshall@9news.com if they want to send it over. They can send it to next@9news.com. I'd take a look at it too.
Marshall with 2 L's.
Marshall with 2 L's. Got it. All right. Thank you, Marshall. Douglas County's Republican commissioners are pushing back on calls to apologize after a commissioner claimed that a local progressive group led by an Asian American woman was actually the Chinese Communist Party meddling in their county politics.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
It wasn't, in fact, a good afternoon for Douglas County's Republican commissioners, fresh off 71% of voters rejecting their bid for more power through a home rule resolution, and Commissioner George Teal claiming the opposition group was funded by the Chinese Communist Party.
Commissioner Teal falsely linked Asian American oncologist Dr. Aiko Browning to the Chinese Communist Party. Not only is that racist, xenophobic, baseless, but it's also extremely harmful. And this board, especially Commissioner Teal, owes her an apology.
No apology was coming, but more public comments were.
The fact that one of you decided to blatantly lie about Dr. Aiko Browning makes me nauseous.
Commissioner Teal has not presented any evidence of his claim about Chinese communist meddling in local politics. The cancer doctor in the community that he targeted with that smear told us this last month.
I am of Japanese heritage. That's not the same as China, though. And I am an American citizen.
And it's unacceptable to assume guilt or connection based solely on someone's race or ethnicity. I get it. We all look alike. But it is also entirely inappropriate and fails to uphold the standards expected by public officials.
Commissioner Teal declined to apologize and even scolded the public about truthfulness.
Citizen comments are welcome. We do ask them to be factual and informed.
Commissioner Abe Layden said he values diversity and knows Asian people.
And my record demonstrates that. In fact, my best friends from law school are Asian Americans.
And Commissioner Kevin Van Winkle got mad.
We are going to ask for order in this room.
When people kept speaking once public comment was over.
I served for over 10 years at the state capitol, never had a meeting of outrage and absurdity like this.
And with that, the DOCO Commissioner's not very good afternoon was over.
This meeting is adjourned.
I have the honor of talking with nonprofit leaders almost daily, trying to figure out how to best connect the right organizations in our community with your incredible generosity each week. And if there's one story that I've heard again and again, it's this: rising need, at the same time, is funding cuts. That's the story from Mountain Resource Center, the nonprofit we're featuring in this week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign. Mountain Resource Center helps to feed low-income families in the Highway 285 corridor in Jefferson County. Their community health food share program combines both brick and mortar with mobile food pantries. They're trying to reach as many people as possible with healthy food, food that is often sourced right from growers and ranchers in their own community. They have seen the need triple in the last 5 years. That's a beautiful area of the foothills, which you do not often see amid the large houses perched up on the hilltops, are all the low-income folks who make up those communities, and the fact that they're often pretty geographically isolated for technically being in the Denver metro area. For many of the people served by Mountain Resource Center and their food program, the nearest grocery store is more than 10 miles away. So let's help that nonprofit get more food to more families in our community. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491. We'll send you the link to donate. Your 5 years of microgiving every week has raised $15 million. It proves how $5 donations add up. I'll never ask you to give if I don't, so as always, I'll match the first 50 donations of $5 to get us rolling. More than 5,000 of you have signed up to make a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You just put in your info once, and each month, your donation is automatically split among all the nonprofits we feature, so you get to help everybody. It's meant these recent microgiving campaigns have started with about $30,000 in donations. There is an alert out for an invasive creature that could really make a mess of the Colorado River.
Ladies are working really hard because they like to help people still.
Their memory is not the best these days, but their sewing skills are still sharp enough to be of service. That's next. Voters in Denver could soon decide whether to ban force-feeding birds. Animal rights activists gather enough signatures. They're mad about foie gras. The ballot initiative would ban the sale of products made from force-feeding birds, like foie gras, fattened duck, or goose liver. Some chefs in Denver have already agreed to take it off the menu after there are protests at their restaurants. The people behind the initiative estimate 24 restaurants in Denver still serve it. They're gathering signatures to get this on the ballot in November 2026. Last year, voters in Denver rejected measures from animal rights activists. They turned down a ban on slaughterhouses and a ban on the sale of fur. Wildlife workers in Colorado say they are closer to finding the possible source of the most serious aquatic threat spreading in western Colorado. CPW says they found zebra mussels in some privately owned water in western Eagle County a couple months back. They discovered zebra mussel larvae in the Colorado River between Glenwood Springs and Silt. Those little mussels can produce up to 1 million eggs per year, and large groups of the mussels can clog up water infrastructure. CPW is relying on boaters to make sure their boats are clean, drained, and dry before they launch, and decontaminated when they leave.
The summer heat is on, a heat advisory, a weather impact alert out through 9 o'clock for temperatures in the triple digits. How about 103 in Pueblo, 105 in Greeley, 102 in Sterling, 100 in Denver, 104 in Fort Collins, and 101 in Grand Junction. Not as warm tomorrow, but today we tied a record set back in 2022 with that triple digit high. We're still plenty toasty out there right now. 98 in Denver, still triple digits up around Fort Collins and Greeley. Heat advisory from those areas down into Denver extended into Colorado Springs and into Pueblo until 9 o'clock tonight. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of wind because it's so warm and so dry that elevated fire danger will be the big topic tomorrow. This red flag warning may be extended out. Radar showing a couple of high base storms with wind and lightning, exactly what we don't want to see, but there's a chance for rain and cooler weather coming on Friday. It will not be cool tonight. Overnight lows could stay in the 70s for many areas. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s. Friday, cooler in the 80s with a good chance of rain from storms because we head right back to the 90s late in the weekend into early next week.
They're a sewing circle with a purpose. Memory care residents who stay busy providing comfort to cancer patients. That's next. Giving back is not an activity limited by age or by the gradual loss of memory. Our photojournalist Mike Grady found proof of that today in a group of women with a project that will help others through a tough time in life.
Yep, pull that pen out.
Having purpose makes life meaningful.
Okay, let it go though, so it can roll through.
Anna Green helps these ladies find that purpose.
Perfect, now we're gonna hit that backwards button.
This activities coordinator at Greenridge Place Memory Care Facility in Westminster
Here, I'll trade you.
has a good crew.
So I put them all to work. We bring in people that can't be at home anymore because they can't function on their own anymore.
These women are all in on this job.
We call these bags of hope. They're actually breast cancer bags. So we are making these bags for ladies after they come out of breast cancer surgery, so they can put their drains in the 2 pockets and they have a pillow to comfort them through the healing process.
Everything will be donated to hospitals to help breast cancer patients.
How's that stuffing coming over there, Dolores?
For Anna, this work hits close to home.
Well, I had my sister that died of breast cancer when she was 44. I lost my mom to breast cancer. I have a best friend that just went through the surgery.
Through this project, they all find their purpose helping others.
You know, we've all lost people to cancer. It's just touching so many lives that I think it's really important that we all help, right? And these guys can't even believe the stage of life they're in. They're still helping everybody, right? They're amazing.
For Next,
Good job, girl.
I'm Mike Grady.
Good folks. We are back with your feedback next. Thank you. Hunger hides in every corner of Colorado. But in the foothills, a solution rolls into town every week into Evergreen, Bailey, Pine, Golden. It's Mountain Resource Center's mobile food pantry. They visit community centers and senior apartments, delivering groceries to folks in need. It's a supplement to that nonprofit's brick and mortar food pantry. We're helping them get through some funding cuts with this week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign. Scan that QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to get that link to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in donating to support their work. Feedback tonight on Threads from Sonia, who writes, "The thing about Kyle Clark is you think you're getting vanilla, but it's actually ghost pepper." That made me laugh, Sonia. I can't really help the fact that I am exceptionally boring looking. We try not to make this a boring program. We'll see you next time.